Hi Cancer, this is your horoscope for April 2017. Thank you for joining me. From the 3rd of April until the 22nd of April, the Sun in Aries and Uranus in Aries, they start to conjunct. So for this 3-week period, these two super powerful planets blend their energies together, and they're doing that in your 10th house of career. Okay, so the Sun in Aries is about pushing forward. Uranus is associated with rebellion and eccentricity and energy. And when they come together, it really creates an unstoppable force. And career-wise, that really translates itself for you because your career is really, really going to move ahead here. Whether that happens of its own accord, that the boss gives you a promotion or that you take the next step and that it comes to you externally, or whether you do that yourself, you make a lateral shift by applying for another job, or you really get things going yourself. Either way, things are happening, things are going to move quickly career-wise for you here in the month of April, and if it doesn't, then something's wrong, okay? Then either you're in the wrong position, or you're not taking enough initiative, but the way this is meant to go is that you make huge progress. Now, on the 5th of April, Saturn goes retrograde, and it stays in retrograde until the 25th of August. Saturn is like the astrological head teacher. He makes you sit your life exams, and he makes you look at your life the way it is and the way on a spiritual level it ought to be. So you can think of Saturn as kind of the astrological embodiment of the higher self that guides you in a very firm way. It's like having a father figure or a loving force of authority in your life that guides you in the right direction. When it goes retrograde, it's less harsh, and it allows you to review the decisions that you've made in the past, and it shows you in a gentle way how those decisions have worked out for you and why your life is the way it is now based on decisions you've made in the past. It also allows you to review the structures you have in your life, which may be based on decisions you've made. You know, if you decided to be a nurse, then the fact that your life revolves around you being in the hospital and at the doctor's surgery, that's going to be a structure in your life that's there because of a decision you've made. Saturn retrograde is a nice time to review these things that you've done, to look at where you want to be in the next year or in the next 5 years, and to make new decisions and to look at new structures that you want to have in your life and to gently make changes moving forward. On the 9th of April, we have Mercury going retrograde, and that happens in Taurus. It's in the sign of Taurus, and it's in your 11th house. It stays in retrograde until the 3rd of May, and Mercury retrograde has to do with problems in communications. So stereotypically, it's famous for computers not working or misunderstandings between people, packages not arriving in the post, emails getting lost, that kind of thing. The way it's going to manifest itself for you is particularly in your friendships. There's the potential for misunderstanding. So make sure that you express yourself as clearly as you can, and that if there are complicated things or things you want to talk to a friend about which really requires a lot of concentration and attention and a lot of nuances being involved, then this isn't the perfect time to hash it out with a friend of yours during this Mercury in retrograde, because there is the room for misunderstanding to occur. On the 11th of April, the full moon happens in Libra, and that happens right on top of the lucky planet Jupiter at the bottom of your chart in the 4th house. And I'll make a separate video on the full moon just to go into a lot more detail. But this is a real blessing for you in terms of your family life and in terms of the people who are nearest and dearest to you. So expect some wonderful family news, or plan a family gathering, something fun, have a celebration, it'll feel really good. On the 15th of April, Venus, the planet of love and beauty, that goes direct. And that's really, really positive because it means that you're going to have more certainty when it comes to your relationships, things and people, things that you love and people who you love. You're going to have a much clearer idea of what you're giving out and what you're getting back. And things are in balance. Things are more balanced in a sense when it comes to that aspect of your life. You're also going to have an increased love for learning and spirituality now when Venus goes direct. So really getting back on top of your spiritual practice, maybe your daily meditation practice or yoga, maybe getting back to that if you've got out of the routine a little bit. This will be a good idea to get back into this routine of things. On the 20th of April through until the 28th of September, Pluto goes retrograde. Now, Pluto is the planet of transformation and change, and it's like the hermit in the tarot. It's shining the light of truth onto the inner self. And it's happening in Capricorn in your 7th house of relationships. So the Venus retrograde and this Pluto retrograde, I imagine, will teach you that when it comes to relationships, the messages that you get and your guidance is really spot on, and you become more expert at hearing that voice and knowing when the problem is on your end or if it's the other person's problem. And it will be much easier for you to differentiate between things that you can do something about and between things that the other person needs to do something about. So you stop taking on so much of other people's stuff and make it your own. There's a much better line between this is my responsibility and this is their responsibility. So that's super helpful in making your relationships healthier. On the 26th of April, we have the new moon in Taurus. That happens in your 11th house, and that really pulls in a lot of practical earthy energy into your chart, especially when it comes to the people in your life, your friends, your social network, your family. So again, you end the month of April here with a lot of time and space and interest in other people and their lives. Again, it's a good time to plan a social occasion or a party or an event of some form, to spend it with people who you like, people who you're interested in, and to just have a good time and to celebrate. So it looks like a really positive month. If you would like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the Readings tab to order your reading, and what I can do is I can draw up your birth chart by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. We can put the transits around that birth chart and see how things are affecting you specifically, and order your reading on my website. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you next month.